Hello and welcome everyone, my name is Captain Frost and today we're gonna be looking at our CoC Cyclone with Ice Spear Occultist that has very high damage, near 50 million DPS if it's calculated against pinnacle bosses in PoB. And it has just this very good feeling for it. It has a pretty good clear speed. It looks fantastic. It procs a bunch of stuff while you're cycloning through the maps, and that's probably all the regular PoE guy wants. You just want to see a bunch of different explosions and different stuff going on your screen while you're cycloning through the maps, as Cyclone is one of the most popular skills in the game. Maybe it not, from time to time it is popular on its baseline. It's just as regular Cyclone, and from time to time it's very good if you're playing it with cast on crit. So yeah, that's your cast on crit Cyclone, that's what CoC means. And yeah, I guess let's go for the character. As you can see here, character has an enormous amounts of damage, and it has pretty good effective hit pool. As well, it has very good defensives against chaos damage. It is energy shield based, but we are using low life, which means that we're reserving almost all our life for auras. We're reserving almost all our mana for auras again, and then we're using energy shield with Chevron's wrappings, with which chaos damage taken does not bypass energy shield, so that we wouldn't be dead from any chaos damage that we will take. So yeah, that's this way we have our energy shield as our effective health here. Let's go quite fast for talent tree first. Just a bit of things. What are we even taking here? Then some jewels, then skills and items. So with our talent tree, we're taking some energy shield. Of course, that's what we need in order to survive. We're taking as much mana reservation efficiency as we possibly can get. We're getting all the places for jewels that we can possibly get as well. Then we're taking power charges. They are very important for our character. We're taking some leech. Here it is like leech is instant, is very good for us as well, because we're gonna get some of it with our energy shield as well. Then yeah, we're going for more power charges stuff, more energy shield, some crit strike chance and crit strike multiplier, and again reservation efficiency. And here we have energy shield, some chaos res. So this is your core stuff that you're interested in. You're not really interested in life. As you can see, all the life nodes that we're taking, they are both life and energy shield nodes simultaneously. So now let's go for our probably jewels. Yeah, and as you can see, we're taking pain attunement, which gives us more spell damage when we're on low life, and with reserving our life with our auras, we are counting as low life, of course. So now let's go for the jewels. The first one is a natural instinct. Allocated small passive skills in radius grant nothing. Grant all bonuses of unallocated small passives in radius, which means that every single small passive that is taken here will not do us anything, but all the other small ones that are not taken will give us the bonuses. So yeah, that is here. You cannot be cursed with silence, overwhelm some physical damage. Yeah, these are not really that important. Then we're going for a Storm Shroud. Modifiers to chance to avoid being shocked apply to all elemental ailments. With this, you really need only to get your chance to avoid being shocked to 100, and then you're gonna be immune to all elemental ailments, and you're gonna be unaffected by them, which is very good quality of life and defensive stat. Then we see here just regular jewel that gives us stats, crit strike multiplier, mana reservation efficiency, and corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you, which is very powerful for us. Then when it comes to our cluster jewels, we're taking some cold damage ones, and here we see the damage penetrates cold resistance against shield enemies, and you're definitely gonna chill everyone with this just enormous amounts of damage. And yeah, again, additional elemental damage. Then with medium cluster jewel, we're taking crit strike chance oriented one. Your crit strikes have chance to deal double damage, which is very powerful as well. And then with our regular jewels that we're ending with, we're taking here some energy shield, some cold damage, crit strike multiplier, and yeah, some even additional recoup, but it's not as important. Again, the main thing are energy shield, stats, spell damage, crit strike multiplier. That's what you're after. Then we see here our energy shield leech is somewhere here. So we're using our spells. So our spells are hitting enemies. It's not dot build, which means that we will effectively pretty easily energy shield leech from our spells, and this is here what we need. And this talent here, 10% of leech is instant. It's any leech, so energy shield leech is gonna be applied to it as well, and even 3%, 0.3% is enough with our damage, enough for order to get energy shield leech capped, and this 10% instant will be just very good and handy. Yeah, then we have Militant Faith here, so passives are conquered by Templars. Yeah, we have elemental damage per devotion and increased effect of non-curse auras per devotion, so that means that all our talents here are gonna give us some devotion. They will increase our elemental damage, our non-curse auras effect, but this inner conviction, more spell damage per power charge, gain power charges instead of frenzy charges. This is what we're after here. This is very powerful stuff. We only need to maintain power charges, and if we're increasing our maximum number of power charges, we will effectively increase our maximum number of frenzy charges, and we'll have them instead. So yeah, it's like 3% more spell damage per power charge while you're sacrificing your frenzy charges. Then we're taking this one for us to generate, for us to get additional bonuses from power charges. With our second cluster, you see here same stuff, is just cold damage, cold penetration, again some crit strike chance, deal double damage with your crit strikes. Watcher's Eye, that gives you baseline crit strike chance while affected by hatred, which will work on both your attack and your some spells. Then critical strikes penetrate 10% of enemy elemental resistances while affected by zealotry, and debuffs when you expire while affected by haste. So yeah, like your main stuff here are penetration and baseline crit strike chance, and with our regular jewel, we're just taking crit multi, some damage, or in this particular case we're taking a bunch of crit multi, but yeah, you can get their energy shield, you can get their stats if you need them, and here with our last point we do have some additional mana reservation efficiency and some crit multi. So yeah, that's it when it comes to the character. Let's see in our items. Oh, and by the way, I didn't say where this character comes from. So yeah, only cluster jewels, regular jewels, Watcher's Eye, Storm Shroud, Unnatural Instinct, and Militant Faith. So this character comes to us from the ladder. So this is PoE on PoE Ninja. It's one of the here it is, yeah, or 46 million DPS. It's one of the first guys who took level 100 on Occultist, and either then swapped to custom crit Cyclone with Ice Spears, or was doing it simultaneously. So yeah, this is a completely alive character that is active and that is probably farming some stuff. Maybe not now, we don't really know that for sure, but yeah, you know that this is a character from the game that some person was playing and achieving some good results with it. Then when it comes to our ascendancy, we're taking Void Beacon, we're taking Frigid Wake, so that's all your just more cold damage, decreasing cold reservations, different freezing mechanics, and stuff like that. Then Forbidden Power, which gives us additional power charge, additional increases to our power charges. Yeah, and Unholy Authority, you can apply an additional curse and your hexes can affect hexproof enemies, which is definitely very good if you are using and utilizing multiple curses, of course. Then let's go for our skills. So we're gonna start with our Val Cyclone, or just our Cyclone setup. So it's gonna have it's gonna be in our main 6 link. We're gonna have Cyclone here, Awakened GMP. So yeah, you want for your Ice Spear to have as many projectiles as possible. Then we're going for Inspiration for additional reduced mana cost, crit strike, elemental damage, power charge on critical. So again, more damage per power charge will be a massive multiplier because we do have a bunch of power charges. And as you can see, Inspiration here is Divergent, which again additionally reduces mana cost of our items, of our skills. I'm sorry. Then with our Ice Spear, we are taking Anomalous here as well, projectile spears. So that's gonna be very, very essential for your clear speed. Yeah, and Awakened cast on critical strike, of course. So yeah, that's gonna be your main link with Val Cyclone and Ice Spear, how it work. So yeah, you're just spinning and then Ice Spears are flying everywhere and obliterating everyone. Okay, let's go. Then with it's our gloves setup, it's our partly reservation setup, partly mark and hit. So you see here mark and hit and sniper's mark. Yeah, sniper's mark is very, very powerful. And then Herald Device with precision. Precision gives you your crit strike. Herald Device gives you additional blasts of gold. Then with our so this is gonna be in our shield, and our shield is Prism Guardian. So the thing with Prism Guardian is that socketed gems cost and reserve life instead of mana. So this is our main life reservation item, and these are our main reservation life reservation skill. So Hatred, Determination, and Zealotry. Determination gives us a bunch of armor and gives us a bunch of defensive stats. Hatred then gives us a bunch of damage, and we do have useful stuff on Watcher's Eye with it. And Zealotry just gives us additional crit strike, more spell damage, and again we have Watcher's Eye utility with it. Then with in our ring we have Frost Blink with our additional weapon, which is Cospray's Malice. So trigger a socketed cold spell on melee crit strike with 0.25 second cooldown. And as we can see here, we do have Creeping Frost with Culling Strike here. We do have Frostbite that will curse enemies around us in addition, and it will proc automatically. Then we're taking our Skitterbots that are Divergent, so minions have increased effect of non-damaging ailments on enemies, which is very good. Then Bone Chill. Bone Chill will work with Skitterbot, so the chilling Skitterbot will apply this Bone Chilled powered up chill on the enemy, and you will just deal more damage with it. So yeah, effect of chilling have increased effect of chill on enemies as well. Then Vol Discipline with Enlighten, and as you can see here, we're using baseline discipline as well for us to have additional pseudo life, our energy shield. And yeah, Enlighten gives us just a bunch of reservation efficiency in here. Then we do have our Val Molten Shell with a abundance of armor. It will work pretty well. Defiance Banner, Custom Death Portal. Yeah, that's when you play softcore and you want to get back fast on track. If you've died, then Custom Death Portal is good, but it's not mandatory by any means. And we do have Aspect of Spider on one of our items. Let's go for the items then, I guess. So Cospray's Malice, we've already saw. This is a weapon that triggers stuff that's inside of it. It gives us a bunch of flat cold damage to spells. Yeah, and that's mostly it with Cospray's Malice. Then we're using Prism Guardian, which again reserves. It makes our auras that are in Prism Guardian reserve life instead of mana, and it has very good reservation efficiency and elemental resistances as well. But then with our helmet, we do have Blizzard Crown, which gives us a bunch of flat cold damage. We do have here +1 to maximum power charges. Nearby enemies have -2 to cold res. Projectiles pierce an additional target, which will be very detrimental to your clear speed. And that's mostly it. We do have some like energy shield here as well, but yeah, not too much. Chevron, so that's for you to play without chaos inoculation and with energy shield. So chaos damage taken does not bypass energy shield. We do have a robust chaos resistance, which you wouldn't really take too much chaos damage, and then if you are taking it, then you will have your leech in place and it will be just fine. It gives you a bunch of energy shield as well. It do have +2 to socketed +2 to level of socketed projectile gems, which is very good for our GMP and ice spear that are in our main 6 link. Then with gloves, we're using while unique in your presence. For you want to have your exposure probably mostly on big chunky bosses, because otherwise your DPS is more than enough. Here we have applying cold exposure. Then we can unnerve enemies on hit, which is again more damage. Some resistances, some additional increases to damage against shield enemies and while leeching, and as much energy shield as possible. With our boots, the same stuff, so onslaught, on kill, aspect of the spider, then you have tailwind if you have dealt a critical strike recently, and that is very, very powerful. We do have. We do deal critical strikes constantly. Then with our amulet, we're taking presence of Chayula, which gives us immunity to stun. It gives us big amounts of chaos resistance, some rarity, some attributes, and some part of maximum life converted to energy shield as well. Then with our rings, we're taking Circle of Fear, again some onslaught, on hit generation, armor, chaos damage as implicits. Then we do have some cold damage, dexterity, increased cold damage while affected by Herald of Ice, and Herald of Ice has 55% increased buff effect, which is pretty good as well. Then we have our regular ring that gives us accuracy, which is, we truly don't want to miss on the enemies. It gives us non-channeling skills have -7 to total mana cost, so that our Cyclone wouldn't have any cost. That's not for Cyclone, that's more for our baseline skills, and with how custom create works, your ice spears, as you can see here. Let's go for the ice spear. It's still when it procs from something that custom create. I will even show it. So here, as you can see here, it has cost and reservation multiplier, must support both an attack and skill. So supported skills deal less spell damage. Supported attacks will trigger a supported spell when you crit an enemy. You cannot cast supported triggerable spells. So but the thing here is that your triggerable thing will cost mana anyways when it triggers, and for that we need our -2 total mana cost, and we do have not that much mana reserved, but we still need it for our like mark on hit working and other just regular skills that are not the ice spear itself. So let's go for the Cyclone. Back to the Cyclone. So this is our second ring. Then with belt, we're using Mage Blood, and this is just an enormous defensive and offensive buff for us. Mage Blood it's one of most costly items in the game, but it still is very, very powerful. You can play without it. You will just not have a bunch of defensives and offensives, and you will need to rethink different ways how you are building your character, because you will need more elemental resistances on gear. You will need more mana cost, reduces to mana cost, or you will need just straight up more mana unreserved for you to have the ability to use a Cyclone with Vol Ice Spear, because it wouldn't have all this big good juice that you're taking from Flask with Mage Blood. So we're using our Dying Flask just regularly. It wouldn't proc from Mage Blood. It won't work from Mage Blood. But then for what are we using here? Our Amethyst Flask that will give us Chaos Res, DPS, and reduced mana cost of skills with increased effect. It's very, very powerful. Then a Diamond Flask that gives us additional resistances, elemental resistances, and they will be with us forever. Increased critical strike chance, which is very good as well. Increased effect, yeah, so it's just a bunch of crit and resistances. Then with Granite Flask, we do see here increased attack speed and some armor, flat armor, and with our last flask, it's gonna be Quicksilver. It's gonna be very good for you on Cyclone to have Quicksilver always up, yeah, with additional increases to armor and with increased effect from the enkindling orb as well. So yeah, that's what we do have in this character. This character by no means is a cheap one. It's quite expensive character, but the gameplay deserves it. It's very fun character, and yeah, many people like Cyclone. Many people like Cyclone with custom crate, and this is a prime example of something like that. So thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day. If you like a video like this, then definitely subscribe to the channel because there's gonna be more content similar to it, and have a good day. Goodbye.